This truly will be the last fitness program you ever need. And so this video will really explain what these next 6 to 12 months looks like between us, how we actually get the lifestyle that we want to create. This is going to be very practical. Welcome to Bulletproof Body. Everything you've been told about fat loss is wrong. This is going to show you how to lose the fat, how to keep it off, and how to never diet again. When we talk about the word calorie deficit, immediately you probably think restriction, you probably think eating less, and that creates a very unpleasant relationship with the word diet. And ultimately, if it's unpleasant, it's not going to be sustainable. So I'm here to tell you you've been lied to. You have been lied to by coaches and by social media. And my job today is to clear all of that up in this single video. So I ask of you, please set aside any old ideas you had. Turn off your analytical brain, trying to figure out every little detail. I'm not going to combine it all into one video, but I want you to sit back and really enjoy this experience as I remind you that you did the best you could. It's not your fault. If you're willing to see things differently, if you realize your current approach makes you feel bad, I invite you to give yourself permission to let it go. If you would like, bring a paper and pen to write down any questions so we can talk about this on our onboarding call. But this is really to just give you a high-level overview of what we're going to do on our journey. Completely optional. Enjoy the ride. Like I said before, I have made so many mistakes. I have bulked when I was a really skinny kid at first, and I gained a ton of muscle, but a ton of fat. And then I cut and I lost all my muscle, and I almost felt like I started back where I left off. Like, these two guys did not look that different in my eyes. I don't want you guys to have to make the same mistakes. So since you've been born, there has been a process that has been keeping your heart beating and keeping you alive. It is the very same process that is running your life right now as you watch this video. The very fact that you can hear my words and listen and watch this video is because of this process. And this process has everything to do with your fat loss. So without further ado, I'm gonna play this video twice. The first time I play the video, I just want us to watch it together and I want you to enjoy. The second time I'm gonna play it, I'm going to actually go frame by frame and explain what is really happening here, because it's really going to clear up a lot of the lies you've been told about when it comes to fat gain and fat loss.
Hamburger has 300, French fries 300, drink has 150, and donut $250.
What are we gonna do with this money, bruh?
We spend it inside the body, right? All right.
And in the body they go. Welcome, my dear friends. We are the digestive system. Don't be afraid. Come closer.
Be careful. These guys want to take our money.
Nah, bro. We only interested in digestion. Exactly. We never take no money from no one.
Well, that sounds legit to me.
Ha! Fast food are dumb.
Alrighty, blood. We managed to get out with $1,000. Alright, that's cool. And how much I owe you then? That'll be 150. Base price plus digestion. Alright, here you go. Thank you, bro. See ya.
And blood goes on to deliver salaries through the whole body.
What up, Hart? How much will it be? That'll be 50. There you go.
That'll be 50 for each one of us.
Wow, that oxygen went up or what? Gonna be 50 per kidney, please. Alright.
You owe me 50.
Here, Blotter, good job. That is 50 for me. Good, brother, this for you.
That's 50 for me and 50 for my brother.
But I'm the one doing all the work. How's that? How much for you, boss?
Give me 100 and I'll be fine.
Talk to me, muscle. How much for you?
We've been sitting all day, so it's only 100 this time.
Okay, you've been paid. Alright, let's see how much we got left. $200. That will go straight in the bank.
And how much did you want to deposit today?
That'll be 200 calories in the triglycerides account, please.
All right, the fat will be reflected in the belly from 24 to 36 hours. Thank you, come again. The next day...
Hello?
Well, none other than salmon, quinoa, asparagus, and avocado. You don't need to be afraid. Come closer. All right, we came out with $1,000, but all that fiber will make it more expensive, papi. Will be $300. Jesus, give me a break, man.
Blood goes on his usual salary round, but this time, muscle sets a different amount. Yeah, we went for a 20-minute run, so I need to recover. This time it'll be 350.
Damn, I don't have enough, brother. I'm going to the bank real quick. Wait for me here, okay? Hello there, I need to borrow 200 calories, please.
And why does it need to be from the belly? Can you not take it out of the legs or something?
All that is empty, bro. It needs to be from here.
Oh my God, I'm just gonna give it to you so you don't cry.
Here's your thing, muscle. There you go. We're settled.
Ah, delicious. Now I'm ready for round two. Well, that's how the fat market works. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. But in the long term,
We still the same.
Wow. Let's go ahead. I'm going to play the video frame by frame, and I'll really explain to you what's happening.
Hamburger has 300. French fries, 300. Drink has 150.
They're saying that the money they have is actually the calories of that specific ingredient.
And donut, $250.
What are we gonna do with this money, bruh?
We spend it inside the body, right? All right.
And in the body they go.
Welcome, my dear friends. We are the digestive system. Don't be afraid. Come closer.
Be careful. These guys want to take our money.
Nah, bro. We only interested in digestion.
Exactly, we never take no money from no one.
Well, that sounds legit to me.
Ha! Fast food are dumb. Alrighty.
What has happened now is that the digestive system has broken down the money or the calories, and now this money is a one-to-one comparison to the calories. The digestive system is giving it to the blood because the blood will take these calories, which is the energy which powers the body, and it's going to give it to the blood because the blood is the messenger. The blood is going to pay off all the different organs and all the different body parts of your body to keep it running. All the calories is the money.
To get out with $1,000. All
1,000 calories.
right, that's cool. And how much I owe you then? That'll be 150.
And it actually costs calories to feed the digestive system, right? So 150 calories out of 1,000 that you ate.
Base price plus digestion. All right, here you go. Thank you, bro. See ya.
And blood goes
Then it goes and moves along the body.
on to deliver salaries through the whole body.
For salaries, right? Salaries means that there is an actual caloric price for all these different organs to keep running, which is what I was saying. If you can see, if you can hear, if your heart is beating, if you're breathing, that's because the calories are being paid for
What up, hot?
by what you've been eating so far from your last meal.
How much will it be? That'll be 50. There you go.
That'll be 50 for each one of us.
Wow, that oxygen went up or what? Gonna be 50 per kidney, please. All right.
You owe me 50.
Here, Blotter, good job. That is 50 for me. Good, brother, this for you.
That's
Blood still has money from that last meal to pay everyone off.
50 for me and 50 for my brother.
But I'm the one doing
And yes, those are testicles.
all the work. How's that? How much for you, boss?
Give me 100 and I'll be fine.
Talk to me.
Give me 100 and I'll be fine. It's because the brain burns a variety of different calories, but that's not really that important right now.
Muscle, how much for you?
We've been sitting all day, so it's only 100 this time.
Okay, you've been paid. All right, let's see how much we got left. $200.
So after paying all these organs off, we have an extra 200 calories. Now notice this.
That will go straight in the bank.
How cool is that? Right now, your body is super smart. Your body was built from an era where food was really scarce. So instead of pooping the extra calories out, it's storing it. So watch how it does that.
And how much did you want to deposit today?
That'll be 200 calories in the triglycerides.
200 calories in the triglycerides. Triglycerides is another word for the fatty cells. This is a fat bank.
Account, please.
So what just happened here? Somehow the belly bank, I think it's called, it converts calories to fat. Did you notice that? That the money got converted to triglycerides. Interesting. Let's keep watching.
Right, the fat will be reflected in the belly from 24 to 36 hours. Thank you, come again.
Also that you don't see the fat reflected right away. It takes 24 to 36 hours to convert this process.
And the next day,
Hello?
Well, none other than salmon, quinoa.
Notice very different foods coming in. So the price tag on each one of these foods, the caloric amount should be different.
Asparagus and avocado. You don't need to be afraid. Come closer. All right, we came out with $1,000, but all that fiber will make it more expensive, papi. Will be $300.
That part doesn't matter as much, but yes, having fiber makes that the calories appear slightly less, but it doesn't really matter for this purpose.
Jesus, give me a break, man.
blood goes on his usual salary round. But this time, muscle sets a different amount. Yeah, we went for a 20-minute run, so I need to recover. This time it'll be 350.
So one of the organs, their salary is dynamic. Some of the other organs, lungs, heart, similar, but the muscle increased its rate based on some activity that its owner decided to do. Very interesting.
Damn, I don't have it.
So two things are different in this experiment. The calories in has changed because the foods that came in had less cash on them than a dense fast food. Plus, the actual cost inside the system went up as well at the same time. So money into the system is down and the cost of the muscle went up.
Enough, brother.
So what do? Do we die? That literally would be the thing that happens. If you do not have the calories to keep the muscle, you couldn't use it.
Going to the bank real quick. Wait for me
It goes to the bank.
here, okay? Hello there, I need to borrow 200 calories, please.
And why does it need to be from the belly? Can you not take it out of the legs or something?
The bank argues, says, I don't want to give it to you from the bank. Can't you take it out of the legs? Because you can store calories and you can take calories from muscle, but the muscle is small.
All that is empty, bro. It needs to be from here.
Oh my God, I'm just gonna give it to you so you don't cry.
Here's the...
So it converted the triglycerides from the fat into calories again. Yesterday, it converted calories into fat. Today, it converts fat into calories.
thing, Muscle. There you go. We're settled.
Ah, delicious.
And it's fully able to be run. You're able to store extra energy so that you need it in emergencies where you don't eat as much or your body burns more so that you're alive today. How cool is that? That is the most incredible part of the process. Now, for the rest of this slide, we're going to go a level deeper into what that means for us on our journey and how we can actually put numbers to this so you can run your own health dashboard without any of the guesswork. Just like a car has a gas tank, because you're not going to have the nozzle of a gas station in as you go on a road trip. You need to store that extra gas so that you can use it on the go. Our bodies, our gas tank, is the fat that we so judge ourselves for. It just so happens to be that we live in a culture right now where that extra fat isn't very attractive. But when we put that aside, we have to have gratitude that the reason we have fat is because our body is doing its job. And we've just been over consuming calories this whole time, whether we knew it or not. That's it. Calorie balance. The equation at a high level, maybe you've heard of this, calories in equals calories out. If the calories from that video earlier that came in versus the salaries of all the organs was the exact same, then the fat that someone stores or their weight on the scale would be the same. We all agree there. If in the second example, the calories in was less than the calories out, you'll lose fat. And then in the first example, calories in is greater than calories out, you gain fat. What determines the calories that come in? Listen very closely. It is not, and I'll say this very clearly, it is not the foods you eat that determine the calories you have. For example, both of these on the right are salads, but the salad on the left has an ingredient known as ranch that has 500 calories in it in this example. Even though both are salads, one is 1,000 calories and one is 500. The calories that come in are not determined based on the food or the name of the meal. I can have 100 different salads. Calories are determined by the atomic specific ingredient that constitutes the meal, not just the general food item. The good news about that is what you love to eat isn't bad. There are just certain ingredients that you may or may not know that is contributing to a majority of the calories you're eating. So it's not what you eat, but how much of it that you eat. Now, the next question goes, well, you keep talking about calories, but what about eating clean, Iman? Shouldn't I be having 100% organic, no processed foods? Well, if that was the case, how are these people, and you can look at these articles online, of a science teacher that lost almost 40 pounds on the McDonald's diet. How did an Ohio man lose 30 pounds drinking only beer during Lent? How did someone lose 27 pounds on a Twinkie-based diet? Because calories are calories. In the video above, did you notice that just because one day it was fast food, the other day it was salmon, money is money? Now, will that change the amount of other aspects? Sure, but it won't change the fat you store. Another way to say it is, if your calorie expenditure every day, your calories out is 2,000 calories, and you consume 1,700 calories of lard, or 1,700 calories of oil, or 1,700 calories of chicken, the source of the calories doesn't matter. You will lose fat every time, no matter what is the ingredient, which is great news. And this is the reason you might have seen all my clients have such great results enjoying the things they love. Yes, that means you can drink and lose fat. That means you can have fast food and lose fat. That means you can have Twinkies and lose fat. The question doesn't become about what are good and bad foods. It's about calorie density, is what foods are high calorie, low volume that I'm eating on a daily basis, and what foods are high volume, low calorie that I am also eating on a daily basis. And let me take inventory of the two. Let's take a look at this video.
50 calories of cucumber, it's too big for the plate. 50 calories of strawberries, ooh. 50 calories of broccoli, 50 calories of watermelon, and 50 calories of mixed leaf salad. These are some of the lowest calorie, high volume foods, meaning you can eat a lot.
Look at how much food that is. A lot of food, very low calories.
For little calories. But this is 50 calories of cheese, 50 calories of mayo, 50 calories of butter, 50 calories of peanut butter, and lastly, 50 calories of olive oil.
Basically, this man did some contrast with showing you the highest volume, lowest calorie foods against the highest calorie, lowest volume foods, just for comparison. Notice them visually next to each other.
This whole plate is 250 calories, but combined, all of these plates are 250 calories too. You see, it's a common misconception that you have to eat less if you want to lose weight. But I say it's the opposite. You can eat more than ever whilst losing weight.
What have we covered so far? 2 myths we've busted. 1, it's not what foods you eat, it's how much. So you can have fast food, you can drink, and you can lose fat. And number 2 is you have to eat less, not necessarily true. You can eat more. Exciting stuff. This type of stuff is just blows my mind. I never get sick of this because I'm a foodie. So if you take something I love away, I take it very personally. So now we've covered calories in equation. But what about all that noise about you got to get your 10K steps? You got to go running. You got to jog. You got to work out. You got to do Pilates. You got to do Zumba, tennis, spin, hiking, biking, blah, 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 blah. So much noise. Don't worry, I got you. How do all those things fit into calories out? And how does calories out and metabolism make sense? I've heard, Iman, your metabolism is one thing and somehow that slows down over time. I'm going to make a very bold claim that every word that you read here can fit into one of 3 categories. Actually, one of 2 categories. Let's try it out. When we say calories out, it's all the things that contribute to the calories you burn. Inside of that, the first thing that contributes to your metabolism is your resting metabolic rate. Now, what is the resting metabolic rate? It is your engine. Just like every car has a different miles per gallon, a truck has a certain miles per gallon, a Lamborghini has a different miles per gallon, a Toyota Corolla has a different miles per gallon. You can't change that because you can't change the car. It's just how the engine was built. Your resting metabolic rate is the exact same thing. The definition of your resting metabolic rate is the calories that your body burns just to exist. Your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your organs running. Think about it like the calories you burn when you're in a coma. Truly. And I think that's a really easy way to think about it. Because when you're in a coma, you're not thinking, you're not walking, you're not doing exercise. That is what your resting metabolic rate is. Now, the good news is it's very easy actually to estimate what your resting metabolic rate is with a high degree of accuracy. Based on your weight, your age, your gender, we can calculate it. And on our onboarding call, I will walk you through how I calculated that. But for now, let's keep moving on with the slide. If you're in a coma, let's run through this scenario. Imagine to keep you alive, the doctors pumped 2,000 calories of food into your stomach every day while you're unconscious. Over the course of the week, you're in the coma, your weight doesn't change. What that tells us is your resting metabolic rate is 2,000 calories. That is your engine's miles per gallon because you've maintained your weight. Calories in equals calories out. RMR is fixed. The other 2 categories that I'm going to reveal to you are not. You cannot change your engine, but you can change how far you drive. So let's go through a couple different scenarios. You're in the coma, in the hospital for 7 days. Now, in the second scenario, the doctor gives you 2,100 calories, okay? So 100 calorie surplus. You gain weight, right? Scenario 2, they give you 1,900 calories and your RMR is 2,000. Well, you lose weight over the course of the week. Scenario 3, they give you exactly 2,000 calories like we talked about and you maintain your weight. But then on the 8th day, something amazing happens. You wake up from your coma. You wake up from your coma so grateful to be alive. The sun is out. You're so excited. You get up and you say, you know what? I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm not even going to drive back home. I'm going to walk back home. And you walk and you get 7,000 steps. You don't even think about it. You get home and you go, you know what? I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful I have this body. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do a workout. And then you burn 300 calories walking and you burn 250 at the gym. You didn't even think about it. That's just how many calories you burned. That day, without discovering it, you unlocked the other 2 levers of your metabolism. And these things have names. One is called your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is your steps. It's a number of other things like twitching and thinking as well, but we can't really track those things. So for the purposes of our equation, it doesn't really matter. It's pretty constant. But when we think of non-exercise activity thermogenesis, that's your steps. And 7,000 steps equates to around 3,000 calories burned. The other category of lifting is known as your exercise activity thermogenesis. Non-exercise, exercise. This is intentional training. This is where your heart rate elevates. That is the difference between exercise activity thermogenesis and non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So the fact that your heart rate increased when you lifted, you happen to burn 250 calories. So let's do the math. Your RMR, we learned, is 2,000 calories. You add NEAT, which is the 7,000 steps, you burn 300 more calories. And your EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis, so the lifting, was 250 calories. Now you add up 2,000, 300, and 250, and your new maintenance is 2,550 for the day. In this case, calories in, they fed you that day through the pipe, 2,000 calories. Your calories out is 2,550. You're going to lose fat. Or you can choose to now eat more. As long as you eat less than the 2,550, you will lose fat, even though you ate more than at the hospital, because you burned more. So you see the couple choices here now. The game has changed. So let's review. In this example, there are 3 metabolism categories. RMR is your coma, it's your resting metabolic rate, and it's fixed. Your engine runs whether you want it to or not. NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, is your steps every single day. Even if you sit at a desk every single day, you still get up to get water, you still go up to bed, you still have steps, you still think, those still have calories. And then EAT, this is where yoga, hiking, running, rock climbing, lifting, high intensity interval training, swimming, all these things fit into EAT. This is also your choice. With RMR, that is fixed. You don't choose it every day. But NEAT and EAT are your choice. So every day, whether you're conscious of it or not, you are actually modulating those 2 numbers. This is the entire calories out equation. There's nothing else. Let's review. Calories in, the food comes into the system. We've learned that calories in, you can actually eat more for fewer calories, and you can eat whatever you'd like because calories is all that matters. And then calories out, you have RMR, you have NEAT, and you have EAT. That's the entire game. When you see someone that's in fantastic shape year round, all that means is they found their sweet spot. Whether they were conscious about it or not, they realized that you can actually work out less and you can eat more because maintaining is easier than earning. Let me give you an example. If you have $10 million, it is very easy to live on the interest of that in a high yield savings account. No risk, and 4% or 6% of 10 million is well more than enough to live an average life. But you're not going to make $10 million putting that into a high yield savings account. So when you see someone online that has an amazing physique, don't take their advice because what they're doing to maintain is very different than what you're about to do to lose fat, to create that deficit. Getting lean takes work. Staying lean is the reward. Once again, calories in, what you eat, what you drink, your food choices, and your calorie density. And we already talked about calories out. What are we going to do in this program? Now that we have the equation, it's like we're going back to high school again. X equals Y plus 7. We're going to find out what those different variables are for you so we can figure out your equation based on where you are in terms of your body fat percentage and where you want to go. These are the only numbers we need to calculate on the journey. What is your RMR? I'm going to give you that on our onboarding call. NEAT, we're going to get you a fitness tracker that just automatically is calculating your steps. So we're going to find out what is your actual daily steps. EAT, what are you currently doing with exercise? If you're doing 0 exercise, that's fine. We're just here to find your maintenance. What is your total calories out, which is just adding these 3 up? What is your calories in, just based on what you eat constantly? And then the result is how much fat you lose. And we're not here to judge it. The first step is to just understand it because it's all a fixed equation. This is what we're going to build together in our program. Your equation, your numbers, and your plan. Let me show you an example of what this looks like. This is your program tracker, which I'll talk to you more about on our onboarding call. Is a Google Sheet with a bunch of different equations we're going to use throughout our time together. Just very high level. Let us make the assumptions that your resting metabolic rate is 2,000 calories. These are the things we can change. If your resting metabolic rate is 2,000 calories, let me do a fun exercise, okay? This is going to blow your mind. So let's say your resting metabolic rate is 2,000 calories. The calories that you eat every day is, let's say, 2,000. Let's say, I always love to do worst case scenario. You do not work out. You sit at your desk all day, which is 3,500 calories, and you do 0 minutes of cardio. You will burn 0.35 pounds of fat. Why? These are the same because the steps. What if you just push the calories down to 1,700? All of a sudden it went from 0.35 to 0.95. What if you got on a stationary bike and you watch TV at home every day for 10 minutes, 5 days a week? 1.12. So once we know what your resting metabolic rate is, and we know how many calories you're comfortable eating to lose fat, we don't need to do any workouts. We don't need to do steps. We don't need to do cardio. We just need to find that sweet spot that works for you. Now that we know the concept, now that we know the equation, let's focus on you. So take a look at this. Guys on the left, girls on the right. Notice where you're at right now. What body fat percentage would you say you're at? Are you 25? Are you 20? Are you 30? Where would you like to get to? 10 to 12, 6 to 7, 3 to 4. Do not do this. And it's hard, but you can do it. Where would you like to go? In every journey, when you go on a road trip, you put the address in Google Maps. You put the destination. But Google Maps gets your location from the GPS for your current location. Now we need to understand what is your current location and where you want to go. Let's say you do a body fat scan and you find out that you're 189 pounds on the scale and you're 28% body fat. And you look at this and you say, you know what? I want to get to 10% body fat. Watch my eyes here. 28 all the way down to here. In 26 weeks, you could get to your dream physique. Now let me show you how this model works. Your body fat percentage is your fat divided by your weight. If every week, take a look at this, V43. If you end up losing 1.52 pounds of fat a week, notice every week, 53.1 minus 1.52 is 48.511. And that takes your body fat from 28% to 26.59. And then again the next week, and again the next week, and again the next week. If this person in this example loses 1.52 pounds of fat every week, they will go from 28% body fat to sub 10% body fat in 26 weeks. That is literally half a year, 6 months. Now you might go, Iman, you keep talking about fat. What about muscle? What if I build muscle? Won't I get to my goal faster? Well, let me do the math with you. In this example, we're assuming you are gaining and losing 0 pounds of lean mass every week. So let's do the example. Column I is all about fat tissue. Your body fat percentage is fat divided by total weight. Notice how lean mass is the same. Why? Let us say that you actually gain half a pound of muscle every week, which is ridiculous. That would be an insane amount of muscle. It'd be very rare to see anyone do that, especially if you're even decently experienced. Maybe if you're a beginner lifter. Let's see when you get to your goal. You still get to your goal the same week. So now let's do the reverse. Let's say you lose half a pound of muscle every week. Notice how it goes down. You're 1 week behind. Instead of 26 weeks, it's 27. Why? What's the math that's going on behind here? Let me give you 2 scenarios. It's going to really explain this very simply. Let's say that you have 10 pounds of fat and you're 100 pounds on the scale. What is your body fat percentage? It's 10 divided by 100. 10 pounds of fat divided by your total weight of 100. 10%. 10% body fat. Now let's go through 2 different scenarios. The first scenario, you lose 1 pound of fat, you gain 0 pounds of muscle. What happens? 10 becomes 9 and your total weight becomes 99 because you lost 1 pound of fat, but you gained 0 pounds of muscle, you lost 0 pounds of muscle. What's your body fat percentage now? 9.09. Now let's do the other example where you gain 1 pound of muscle, but you lose 0 pounds of fat. So we're trying to choose, hey, if I have to choose between gaining muscle or losing fat, which one is gonna give me more bang for my buck? Okay, in this case, if you gain a pound of muscle, how much fat do you have? You still have 10 pounds of fat. Remember, body fat percentage is fat divided by total weight. Now the numerator becomes 101. What's that? That's 9.9. Wow. What's the difference between 9.09 and 9.9? What is the multiplier? 9x. 9x difference. Another way to say it, this is incorrect. Losing fat is 9 times faster to reach your goal than building muscle. Now, I'm not saying don't build muscle. What I'm saying is the fastest path for you to see results and to have a positive feedback loop is to give yourself permission to not focus on muscle right away. The lowest hanging fruit is prioritizing fat loss. And the quickest way to achieve fat loss involves managing your caloric intake from nutrition. That's all it is. That's why in this first phase, we're not even going to talk about the workouts yet until we have fully mastered your nutritional system. So now the next question becomes, let's go back to the example. How does this person actually get to their goal? They're 28% and they have 53 pounds of fat. And eventually they want to get to 9%, 13 pounds of fat. That is a 40 pound of fat difference between where they're at and their dream physique. That's the only thing that really matters. If this person wants to get to 10% body fat, all they have to do is lose 40 pounds of fat. And if people are able to lose 40 pounds of fat drinking beer and having cake, what does that tell us? If your goal is to lose 40 pounds of fat, you need to learn how to lose 1 pound of fat consistently 40 times. If your goal is to lose 20 pounds of fat, you have to learn how to lose 1 pound of fat consistently 20 times. So the question is, how do we lose 1 pound of fat? Now, this is where I want you to write this down. 3,500. Remember the video we watched earlier where the blood had the extra money and it gave it to the triglyceride account? Remember how we said, notice how it's converting calories into fat. That conversion number is 3,500 for every single human being on the planet. This is defined as the law of thermodynamics. Physics and science are backing this up. This is the only number that matters in our entire program. I mean, with the exception of the metabolism and the other variables. 1 pound of fat equals 3,500 calories. So if you want to lose 20 pounds of fat consistently, losing 1 pound a week, that means every week you simply have to remove 3,500 calories and create a 3,500 calorie deficit. There's many different ways to create a 3,500 calorie deficit every week. Consistency is key. So the simplest way to do it is spread 3,500 calories over 7 days. 3,500 calories over 7 days is 500 calories every single day. So our daily goal is simply to identify and create a daily deficit of 500 calories. That's it, which is kind of hard to believe. We have 4 different ways that we can create a 500 calorie deficit a day to create a 3,500 calorie deficit a week. Remember the equation, calories in, calories out? We have 4 levers. Calories in, you can adjust the calorie intake down by 500. Or you can, in the calories out, you can increase your cardio, eat, you can increase your daily steps, or you can increase your workouts. But which one do you think is the easiest? If we're thinking about sustainability and guaranteeing the result with what you can control, only one of these options doesn't take any more time. You wake up in a calorie deficit every day. You have already won the day. What you eat and literally putting food in your mouth, depending on when you stop, either disqualifies you from the deficit or you stay in the deficit. The other methods, calories out, increasing cardio, increasing your daily steps, increasing your workouts, all these things take time and energy. And it's gonna take effort and planning to fit those things in. But when it comes to food, every day you wake up in a deficit. Our job is to focus on creating the most fun, simple way to find the 500 calorie deficit from what you've been eating every single day, from your maintenance. This is the part where every other program and every other coach that's worked with you has gotten this wrong. The problem with the deficits you've been created is, yeah, you've been given meal plans that are 1,000 calories. So yes, obviously you're in a deficit. Eating 1 chicken and a little bit of rice every day will obviously create a deficit, far exceeding the 500 calorie goal. But you never had a problem losing weight. You had a problem keeping it off because the deficit was too extreme. And in the process, you gave up all the things you loved: the drinking, the partying, the restaurants, the travel. This ends up leading to the yo-yo loop. You might lose fat quickly, but then you're eventually going to gain it back. So what is this first phase about? This first phase isn't rushing to hit a deficit. In fact, this first phase, you're not going to do a deficit at all. The first phase is understanding what is your maintenance. What is your maintenance calories of consumption? What is your maintenance steps? Without even thinking about it, even if you sit at a desk all day. What is your maintenance lifting? If you don't work out at all right now, that is perfectly fine. If you think you work out 5 times a week, we're going to find out you actually only work out 2 times a week. That's good data. And your existing cardio. For a lot of you, you're not doing nearly what you think you're supposed to be doing. And that's the point of phase 1. It's just to be aware and honest with where you're at. Because when we know where you're at, then we can find the easiest way to create the 500 calorie deficit to take you where you want to go. So once again, some of you guys might be thinking, oh, but I eat clean. But clean is not clear. Clean is vague. I realized this the hard way. A tablespoon of olive oil is 120 calories. 2 tablespoons of mayo on a sandwich is 200 calories. A single bagel is 300 calories. Most of us don't even realize that we're consuming things every single day that have so many more calories than we realize. And if we actually knew how many calories these things had, and we realized how much closer to our goals we were, we would make different choices. That is why phase 1, after our onboarding call, we have 2 things we got to do. The first is to take photos of everything we eat before we actually eat it. Another way to say it is your phone eats before you do. This brings the unconscious patterns of eating conscious. We're going to identify 2 things. 1, we're going to identify the leaks. The leaks are the things that we didn't even realize were so calorie dense, so small volume, that if we knew, we would make different choices. Those are what leaks are, like the full mayo, could be the olive oil, could be the bagels. And then we're also going to discover what are the hidden gems. It's the opposite of a leak. It is a low calorie, high volume, delicious meal that you have been eating or would like to eat, but for some reason didn't give yourself enough permission to do because a coach or someone online told you that's not healthy. I personally prefer the easiest way possible, which is our brains do not like the word no. If you tell a kid no, they're going to do it more. So for me, the first step is finding the low calorie swap of all of your leaks. So instead of removing a leak, we just swap it for a better version. So real mayo, you don't need to remove any mayo from your sandwich. Just buy light mayo. You save about 55 calories. Tablespoon of olive oil to drizzle on your pan. You're doing at least 2 to 3 tablespoons of that. Just have a spray of olive oil. That's 5 calories. If you love bagels, for instance, or bread, there are high fiber, low calorie breads like Royo that are 70 calories, and they're really good. So don't knock them till you've tried them yet. Food science is at an all-time high right now, and there are so many amazing things on the market. But we won't know what to swap yet until we've actually identified them in phase one. So phase one, we're not changing anything. We're just trying to find out what is the leak. So the point of phase one is not fat loss. It's not progress. We're not rushing anywhere. It's actually a chance to pause and to be honest, to collect the data you've always wanted. Because based on what we learn in phase one, we're gonna choose the easiest path for you to have a 500 calorie deficit in phase two. By replacing every leak with every hidden gem you've always wanted, and you start seeing that you're losing fat already, this is the first time ever you realize this journey was not about a diet. It wasn't about following another plan. And it's definitely not Iman telling you what to eat and how to track your calories. This is also not about getting to your goal as soon as possible. It's about finding the smoothest, easiest way to lose 1 pound of fat every single week through every season of life built by you for you. That's why I can't give you a plan on day one. That's why phase one is all about understanding who you are. Every single one of my clients in the program, when they look back, they say phase one was their favorite part of the program because it's all about them. And on that foundation, we get to build everything you need. The second part of phase one is the daily scale check-in. You step on a scale every single morning. We need to understand how what you eat impacts your weight. And also, what is your relationship with the scale? A couple different things could have happened in the past for you on the scale while you're traumatized. Have you ever been there where you step on the scale and one random day you see it go up like 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and then you realize, oh my God, I'm a failure, I quit. But this person, he didn't quit. He got on the scale the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. And you could see it was just an outlier. So data is king. He just didn't go long enough. Or another example is if you don't step on the scale every day, in this case, this person only did it once in a week, he would have thought he gained weight if he just had these 2 data points. But because he got all these other data points, he saw that actually this was just an outlier and that this data point, he was actually losing weight. But if he didn't track it every single day, he wouldn't have known that. That's how you see the trend over the noise. And then the last one might be, hey, maybe your personality is just you're not a robot. Maybe you realize just like this guy, you live for the weekends and he always would party on the weekend. So his weight and his water retention would spike up, but then you would see over time he's still overall losing fat. And you start to notice the pattern and you start to anticipate the pattern instead of react to it and start spiraling. Does your weight fluctuate? How do you feel when it fluctuates? Because the scale is just a number. It's so many different things. It's the poop in your body. It's the water you maintain. It's a stupid metric. It doesn't mean anything on a daily basis. But right now, you might have some trauma when it comes to the scale. You might feel like you can't get past a certain number and you're making it a big deal. But that's why we step on the scale every day, to give you the evidence that, holy shit, if I just create a 500 calorie deficit over the trend, over 7 days, 14 days, I can eat fast food and I can get past my weight loss plateau. I can have that drink that I never thought and get past my weight loss plateau. The point of the scale is to give you the opportunity to grow. So this is what phase one is all about. After our onboarding call, all you got is 2 jobs. Take photos of everything you eat before you eat it. Your phone eats before you do. This brings the unconscious conscious and helps us identify your patterns, why you eat, what you eat, when you eat, and also what is the hidden calorie leak that we can find out that is part of the leak you never realized was holding you back. And then step on the scale every day. This teaches us how to learn what the data really means, not to react to it, but to collect and build a positive feedback loop where the scale becomes proof, not a reason we're failing, but proof that we're actually succeeding. And that's it. On our call, I'm going to tailor everything to you personally. I'm going to show you and calculate your resting metabolic rate and show you how I calculated it. We're going to plug in the numbers just to get you excited. And then I'm going to say, put your hands back, relax, and don't worry about it. The process is laid out. There's a formula. But right now, your only job is to take photos of every single thing you eat. You don't need to track your calories yet and just step on a scale. Bring your questions to the onboarding call. I'm so excited for you. Let's get bulletproof.